Okay, I think we're clear. Yo, it's Davis. So, what's up? It's been a while, and it looks like it's going to be a while until I'm allowed to leave the house, considering the current coronavirus situation. Let me get that off, clear up the audio a little bit. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck in here for a while, actually. That sucks, but that's perfect time. We have so much that we can do in this room now. So much. There's so many things I can do right now in this very moment because I have nothing else to do, right? I have food, I have water, and I have plenty of games to play, you know? So I think I'm in a pretty good position. What the heck do I play? I mean, I have so many options available to me right now at this very moment, but out of all of them, how do I choose? It's gotta be a game about coming together. A game with layers, something I've been really needing to experience. And I think I know what that game is. Shrek 2 for the original Xbox!
Shrek 2 is best described as a sort of beat-em-up, platformer, exploration game, I suppose. Every level involves the completion of at least a certain amount of the proposed objectives in the pause screen, with each objective rewarding the player with level progress and also a screenshot added to a gallery. Most of these objectives revolve around killing enemies, collecting something, rescuing someone, etc. Magic beans are always one of these tasks for some reason.
Bean! Bean alert!
I wouldn't really call these tasks engaging, but they do have you explore the whole level. I don't plan on talking about every level, just some of interest from my childhood. Every level features 4 characters, with each of them having their own qualities in regards to damage, jump height, health, or other special abilities.
Press the special button to slow down time with Fiona, then touch all the fairies to collect them.
These factors in mind, this may be the Smash Brothers of Shrek. Who's there? Okay, just pretend Super Slam doesn't exist for a second. Looking through the pause menu, you can see that they actually have a page that shows the stats of the characters, surprisingly. Kind of a neat little addition. This game was released in an era long ago. At the time of movie tie-in games. Which I really mean is some console generations ago in the 2000s. What this means in this case is, screenshots are a reward and the game doesn't follow the movie, but how would you know since it isn't out yet? I mean, after all, the game did come out months before the movie, but hey, money's gotta be made, so the story has some improvisations, like new locations and the like. I made sure to rewatch the film, which is aged very well by the way, in order to truly understand the glory of Shrek at its peak in this game's narrative. Anyone who plays this game within the first minute will have a single thought. Why does the camera suck so much ass? The perspective isn't necessarily bad, but the lack of camera control is incredibly evident in levels regarding larger areas. Of everything in the game, this is the most frustrating aspect. A good camera is required to explore adequately to find those beans, baby, but also to navigate the levels with awareness. The strangest thing in this whole damn game is that there are secret upgrades. There's a leprechaun speaking in rhyme, sometimes, who takes your cash to let you pass through doors, but he can also be found hidden in levels and will sell you upgrades, and they're actually pretty good. I only found upgrades once in my playthrough, but at least it gives the coins collected in a playthrough some purpose, though you have to know where they can be used. Oh, and while editing this video, I noticed that I actually missed some really obvious leprechaun spots, like here on the second level, so I guess I'm just blind. Some of the comedy in the game is actually enjoyable.
So much for being a vegan.
Did they just mention veganism?
It really clicks with the source material, and other bits just fall flat.
Then I need help collecting eyeballs. It'll be a long journey, and nobody wants to see me hungry. Why don't we just get some parfait? You know, ones with whipped cream. Oh, I love whipped cream. Ogres eat nature, not parfaits.
Most of the voice acting is not done by the actual voice actors, instead other talents used. What, you think a movie tie-in game is going to pay out that kind of money? But as a strange side note, Mark Mosley is the voice actor of Magic Mirror in the actual film. but he voice acts as Donkey in this game while someone else does Mirror. I have no clue what happened. Audio problems include repetitive one-liners from a small pool and cutscenes that cut out too soon. Though this isn't a voice actor's fault, it's just a programming fault.
Welcome to Far, Far Away. Fabulous shopping, great view, beautiful people. Why don't you make yourselves useful and be my deputies? Deputy Shrek, at your service. Where you see this symbol, I need your help.
Yeah, just dialogue is just like, let's just cut out.
As for their performance, they do a fine job for the most part. The script just feels kinda cringy sometimes. Are you actually gonna start talking about levels and gameplay?
Yes.
As a kid, there was a wall I hit in this game. A level so challenging it took me many, many attempts. It's the 4th level. In its name, the Puss in Boots fight. I still remember the song from this level before playing the game again, not for the memorability of its composition, rather for the pain it caused my younger self. I didn't have the video game experience I have nowadays, so even the simplest rhythm game of sorts was a challenge for me. When I finally beat it for the first time, I felt great about myself. I don't feel great about myself anymore, but back then I felt great about myself, damn it. Playing through this level once more, it takes forever, okay? It feels a bit akin to filler, but at least it provides different gameplay from the rest of the game. In the level after this, Gingy just kinda appears? Lil Red has an appointment for Godmother, but Gingy just kinda appears to take her place for some reason. Also, Shrek didn't need an appointment in the movie, so this is one of those plot differences I mentioned earlier. Since I included beat 'em up as a way of describing this game, I need to talk about the combat. It's very flawed, and I left lol by this line, so take that as you will. Attacks have multiple parts, each act being pressing the X button multiple times. Jump attacks exist, and special attacks on characters may have combat functions, but all in all, combat's repetitive and boring. The enemies are mostly identical in how they behave and are defeated, with exceptions made for the knights and trolls. You just kinda mindlessly press the X button over and over again until the enemy's a dead, lifeless corpse that drops coins. No regard for some sort of timing or strategy. The feedback in combat isn't very strong either. You get like a tiny little hit indication, but I never get the feeling of the damage I'm doing, just that I hit the opponent. Another level I have distinct memories of, this time fond, was the 6th level, Jack and Jill's Organic Farm. One of the main mechanics of the level is hitting cows to bust open gates, using what appears to be their own version of Donkey's Blast. It fits the farm theme, but a character already has this ability, so I'm not really sure how much sense it makes from a mechanic perspective to have this. The 3 little pigs are watching the farm, but they don't do their chores, choosing to pig out instead, so Shrek and the gang have to do their chores for them.
Only if one of those chores includes delivering the package to Fairy Godmother's house.
You've got a deal. Just walk around the farm and look for one of us to get another chore.
The first chore is a hero time for Gingy, involving massive tomatoes rolling down a hill. It's mostly just waiting and some platform bits, not very exciting from a gameplay perspective, but it's an interesting idea for a farm level. It doesn't really feel like a hero time either, since it lacks the feeling of do or die. Getting hit by a single rolling tomato is also a death sentence, since you just get up and get hit again, basically putting you into a deathlock or a jab lock. The controls don't help out much either, as jumps have a delay of sorts going on. All in all, it really just feels like a chore. Another of the chores revolves around finding Jill's missing sewing needle in a literal haystack. It's just a reuse of previous assets, specifically the Pied Piper's area in the 2nd level, Far, Far Away.
Davisonte here. Can you believe the audacity of this dipshit to call Far, Far Away the 2nd level in Shrek 2 the video game?
The rats are infinitely spawned in a very similar manner, the only difference here being that to complete the area you just need to break the haystacks to find the needle. It doesn't take long, and isn't hard, so it's an okay objective, I'd say. The 3rd of the 4 chores is an egg-catching minigame where everyone has their own score counter. It's an actual minigame that has a bit of competition to it, but with CPUs there really isn't that much. This chore actually doesn't reuse anything prior in the game, so I'd say it's the best of the 4 chores. So, the final task. One of the pigs cut down Jack's beanstalk thinking it was a dandelion. And my only response is, how the hell do you do that? He's got a solution, he's planted a new one, but the rats keep eating it. Basically, you defend the Beanstalk from rats, which is an amalgamation of previous content, Cinderella and Pied Piper from Far, Far Away. The developers who were paid to make this game were probably the biggest rat fans of all time. I'm talking Rat Movie 1 and 2 Blu-rays on their shelves because the player can't seem to escape them. You do this for 60 whole seconds. This is the most mundane and boring task in the entire game. I couldn't care enough to even go and do the chicken chore, I just went to the next level. I'm not really sure why I liked this level as a kid, to be honest. Maybe it was because it was a level where you could do things in the order you wanted. Maybe it was the playable character choices, or maybe it was just the thematics. Regardless, a lot of the level just felt redundant, and it's kind of disappointing. Fairy Godmother's Factory. Now, I'm mentioning this level not because I have memories with it, no, but because I encountered a very specific bug in the level regarding the Prince Charming fight in it. So, I swapped to Red and decided to use her special. So her special, she throws a rotten apple and it functions like a grenade. But the second the apples made contact with Charming, he took its huge chunk of damage and just disappeared. But he didn't count as dead. So the door to finish or continue the level didn't open, effectively soft-locking the game. Story time. When I was younger, video game cheat books were still a thing, and I'd always thought it was such a cool concept. And I always saw them at the legendary Scholastic book fairs. I had two just for the hopes that they possibly would have some compatibility with my games, but since I was young and didn't really know what kind of games were quality, they rarely had use. One of the few times this came in handy was, believe it or not, Shrek 2. There's a cheat code that unlocks all the levels in the game, and thank God I remembered it existed. But using this cheat, I was able to not have to replay the level, and I actually got to continue onwards past the Prince Charming softlock.
Spreading joy.
I got the cheat code. Watch this.
After going through the other levels, storming Far, Far Away, and crushing the Leprechaun, we finally have the final fight. You just fight waves of enemies, then some trolls. But finally, you have the fight with Fairy Godmother. You dodge attacks projected on the ground and then hit her for damage. After half health, it's more trolls. And since there's 3 of them, it's not very simple to deal with, but it'll work itself out naturally since they'll eventually jumble their bombs together and bounce them on each other. If you die at any point though, you have to restart from the very beginning, dealing with the boring waves of enemies and trolls once more. If you can't tell, no, it's not that fun. After the second wave of trolls, it's a fight with Charming, except this time I didn't delete him from the game. Thank God. Fairy Godmother comes down for part 2, and then the game is over. Fairy Godmother's element of this level is the most interesting and doesn't really feel like any filler. I wish that more of the level revolved around different phases of that fight, because it seems like there could be more done with it. I recorded myself doing a Hero Time tier list before I wrote the actual script, and I don't really know where to put it, so I'm just going to put it here. It's me again. I just realized that I recorded my Hero Time tier list in 1280 by 720. So, enjoy! Okay, official Shrek 2 Hero Time tier list. Let's start. Alright. I got some notes. Yeah, not that I can't forget here, but we're just gonna work around here. We're gonna work around just a little bit, alright? I'm gonna say E tier. Like the E tier, if you know anything about tier lists, you ever played a fighting game before? There's no S tier with these because they're all flawed, but you know, we're gonna look at who's the best flawed. You can't have an S here and have them be flawed. Also, I have 2 Gingis. Oops. But whatever, doesn't matter. Alright, I'm gonna say for worst, the absolute worst of all of the Hero Times. I think it's gonna go to Shrek. Because Shrek's Hero Time is in the second level, Far, Far Away, and you just beat up thugs and you throw them into the back of a Far, Far Away PD wagon. That's it. That's all you do. It's basically the same content as the rest of the game, so Shrek, you go in E tier. Alright, what's here? Donkey's Chase with Dragon. You have to go and like catch up to Fiona being taken away. I'm gonna put this D tier, actually. And by the way, tiers from left to right have precedence. So like, let's say I had 2 things here, this would be better than that. Yeah, it's really boring. It's just like baby's first Battletoads, I guess. I don't know. That's the best way to put it, perhaps. Let's go to high note. Puss in Boots is actually probably the most entertaining. I mean, it has a unique song. I distinctly remember it as a kid. I thought it was a really cool concept. It's Puss in Boots. So yeah, I'd definitely put that one in A tier. Also, it just kind of, you know, cleaved off his head there. Once again, I still do Gingy's. Big Bad Wolf, actually gonna put him in B. His actually has some platforming challenges to it. You know, you go around the spiral of the tower, there's bombs, that kind of thing. It's pretty standard, I'd say, but it's the least buggy / boring of them all. Fiona's, it's the Blackbird one. It's the very first one in the game, actually. It's different from everything else in the game, with the exception of the 4th level, which is Puss in Boots's. So I'm actually gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to that one. Put Reds in probably B, because it's not that it's hard, but I mean, it works. It works. You go on the treadmills and Fairy Godmother shoots the blasts at you. So I'd say, yeah, it's B. It's B. It definitely functions right, and it's pretty straightforward, but you know, it's something different. Gingy's. So Gingy's, for reference, is you have to avoid these tomatoes. I mentioned this in the section with the Jack and Jill farm level. Yeah, it's really boring, but it also is kind of more exciting. I don't know, you can finish it faster than some of the other ones, but it's still platforming. It's very restricted, so I don't know. I'm just gonna put it in D. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in D. I still want to come back to that one. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a spare Gingy. This one. What is this one supposed to be? Oh, this is chasing after what's it called? Fairy Godmother with Snow White. These two have to be in the same tier because they're the same exact shit. I don't know. They're not really that fun at all. Or no. Wait. Hold up. No, yeah, this has to be in the same tier as Donkeys, not this. I'm confusing the images so bad now. Yeah, she sings the Blackbirds and Donkeys is the chase. Yeah, no. These two are completely equal. That means that Gingy's gotta move up a little bit, surprisingly. Actually, you know what? Or maybe Gingy's just moving down. I don't really know. Not really fun. Yeah, we'll do that. These two are equal, and Gingy sits at the top of this tier. Fiona's with the Blackbirds. I don't know. C, it works, but it's boring. And lastly, we've got Mongo, which you don't even play as Mongo. It would have been so much cooler if you played as Mongo, man. You know, and you would like attack the castle, but no, instead you play as a cannon and you shoot stuff. So honestly, I'm just gonna put Mongols. Nope. Or there it is. Shrek 2 Hero Time tier list. My mask broke in production, but I put it back together. So we'll just do the outro like this. But Shrek 2, I mean, it was an interesting game to go back and revisit from my childhood. It didn't necessarily hold up like I thought it would, but it was still, you know, interesting to do. And funny enough, this cover is so ugly, man. This actually passed. I mean, it looks like the Shrek 1 game cover, but it's so ugly. You can count Shrek's individual eyebrow hairs, okay? It's nasty. But it might be a while until the next one because of this whole situation, but don't worry. I'm working on it. So, until then, see ya.